Alright guys, welcome back to White or Black. Today's video is Fire and Brimstone, a Premonition. Now, this video is an occurrence that I had back in 2001, pre 9/11. And I think that a lot of it was kind of linked to what was happening. It was one of these dreams that you have that it sticks with you. You never forget it. And what occurred, I believe, was a message, a warning per se, because it happened only a few weeks before the terrorist attacks occurred on the World Trade Centers in New York. So this video, yes, I would like to dedicate it to the survivors, the family, the first responders, and most importantly, those that lost their lives in the attacks. But we will get on to the video, and you can decide what you think. What occurred? What happened? Was it a message that I received? So, I mean, at the time that this dream occurred, yes, I was going through a lot of hard times. I was going through separation, and was experiencing a lot of depression. But anyway, this dream came on unprovoked. There was no lead up, no anything. I could never rationalize it. So we will get on with the story and let you decide what you think. So, the dream began with a group of friends of mine. We were kind of gathered in celebration, enjoying each other's company, having a good time. You know, it was evening. It appeared to be, like fall weather. But don't know what we were really celebrating. From what I could gather in the dream, it seemed like it was a time of celebration, possibly a holiday, because generally when you have that many people that can gather together, it's usually holiday when people are off work and things are closed down. So as we were gathered and having enjoying everybody's company, we began to notice like a meteor shower. We were seeing the shooting stars and this and that, and we were all just kind of in awe, and it was a nice addition to the evening. However, the meteor shower began to change, and instead of it being just a spectacle in the sky and something that everybody was enjoying, we started to notice them looking lower and lower. And they began to come down to the point where they were low enough you could make out the flames on these things. And there became a large abundance of them. And everybody was still just kind of in awe. Well, then they began to touch down. And I don't mean touch down. It became a meteor shower of biblical proportions. We're talking fire and brimstone. And these meteors came down, and they were colliding with the earth and just scarring the earth. They began hitting homes and vehicles and just creating destruction in its wake. And all of us kind of began to panic and look to, we sought safety. We scattered around and was looking to find any cover we could find. And this meteor shower, it was brief in the dream, but created plenty of destruction in its wake. And ended fairly abruptly, and we had enough time to kind of catch our breath and just basically kind of redeem our composure and, you know, come to the conclusion that it was over. And in the midst of this, it's like there was barely a breather in here before we noticed these, you know, saucer-shaped UFOs descending from the sky, and there they were. So, barely being able to collect our thoughts from what had already occurred, now we had UFOs that were descending from the sky. And all seemed, I mean, it sounds funny, it all seemed pretty normal at the time, other than, okay, how do we go from that to that? And it didn't last very long. The solitude was broken when we noticed one of the UFOs started to emit a beam. And it wasn't like a beam that you would see, you know, like, oh, they're going to pick something up, you know, yeah, the alien abduction. This beam was a weapon. These UFOs began emitting these beams that were destroying homes. They were cratering the earth. They were creating chaos. They were destroying anything in their wake. This was an attack. This was like, you know, on the scale of like Independence Day, you know, the movie. They were decimating everything, homes, this, that, and it didn't take them long. I mean, obviously they were working with very high-tech power source. So chaos, everything, anything in its path vaporized, in flames, cratered. Yeah, and everything was going by so fast. It's like the next thing we realized, it's like, you know, I mean, you could still see here and there, you know, in the distance, but there was just destruction left in the wake. And I remember seeing a soldier, and it was a lone soldier coming up the street. Looked like they didn't have any idea where they were. They were completely disheveled. They were completely out of it. They were just kind of wandering up the road aimlessly. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, that's a pretty quick response. How did the military get here that fast? And yet he had no other platoon with him. He was a lone soldier. And I noticed that the soldier was bleeding and had no idea where he was going. He was just wandering aimlessly. You know, appeared to be injured, bleeding, and wow, you know, what's going on here? Was the military involved on this? Was this a military action? Who knew? But for some reason, the military was there really quick, in the wake of everything else occurring. And in this moment of solace, we knew we needed to move, and so we proceeded to go to my house. And when we got there, we were looking, you know, somewhere to hide, fall out, whatever. And I remember one of my friends saying to me that, you know, we need to turn off all the lights and this and that. You know, we don't want them to know we're here. And this was the weird thing. I remembered saying to them, is like, no, we need to leave the lights on. The light shows we have nothing to fear. And at that point, I became the person that everyone was looking to for a leader with all this going on. And I told them we need to get beneath the house. And that's what we attempted to do. This is another little crazy sideline to it too, because at the time when this dream had occurred, I was living in a mobile home. I really didn't have a crawl space. I didn't have, you know, a way to get under the house. There's no basement. And that always kind of struck me as weird. And we had actually ended up in our waking life My wife and I had ended up selling that mobile home we was living in, and we had bought a house in Santaquin, and we lived there for about 10.5 years until COVID hit, and I had lost my job, and market went really high, and we'd never had any intentions to come back to Eureka. But circumstance kind of put us right in there, and we ended up having to sell that one, and we came back to Eureka, and now we own a home that we bought outright here. And strangely enough, this home is just below the street where our last home was. You can actually look out the backyard and see the mobile home down the street. So we are below the house. But that gets a little stranger too, because now the home that we're in actually does have a crawl space. It's an old crawl space that used to be a coal chute that's been cemented in, and we have a door just inside our back door that you can lift up and get down in there, drop the door, and you're down there and almost like a little bunker. Coincidence? I don't know. If you think that's a coincidence, what's even stranger is it's an older home, but in the concrete out by our garage, we noticed as we were getting ready to buy this home that my initials and my wife's initials are there with a heart that somebody had etched into the concrete. And I did find that was initials of prior owners of the house. But oddly enough, there's a year there too, which the year is the year me and my wife started to date. Kind of strange, right? So anyway, I remember, back onto the dream, me and a bunch of friends, we got down into that crawl space. We left lights on, and we kind of waited things out to see if things were over. And all the while, with lights and this and that, and nothing came to pass. The house stood. No damage had occurred to the house, yet destruction was in the wake everywhere around us, and we were left unharmed, strangely. So, but give it 2 weeks past having this dream, and like I said, it was one of those very lucid, vivid dreams that just stays with you. We was working graveyard shifts, and a lot of times I would catch the news in the morning early, and that's 2 weeks after this dream. I'm watching the news, and I'm seeing the breaking news, and watching this unfold with these airliners, these jets hitting the World Trade Centers, and just watching all this unfold and thinking, wow, that looks very similar to what I had just dreamt about, with the fire and the buildings and things exploding. And I, immediately it just clicked to me, and I thought to myself, this is related. This is related. This is a beginning. This is how it's beginning. And my dream, I felt, was a foretelling of these other things are going to come to pass. But to have those two strong things linked, and then to be watching that on the news, I remember picking up the phone, and I was trying to work things out at the time with my ex-girlfriend, and I remember calling her and talking to her, saying, hey, have you seen what's occurring? Have you seen what's on the news? Because it was just so wild. And I don't remember if I had told her about the dream I had, or what I like to refer to as the premonition I had. But I just felt like it was a warning, and I was trying to make sense of everything, and just really, really crazy. So, you guys let me know what you think. I always look forward to seeing comments, and I like to share these experiences I've had, sometimes actually revisiting some of these experiences I've had. kind of helps me make more sense of them as well. So yeah, we enjoy your feedback. You know, if you know anybody that likes these style of videos and you know, truthful experiences, I still have more to share. You know, I've experienced the UFOs in this area out down the highway, what we call the Tinnick Junction. I had a friend that used to live there, and we've actually communicated recently, and we're even thinking of doing a collaborative video where we could share and remember, you know, share what we remember of our UFO encounter, which there will be more video there coming from that, because that's one we definitely would like to get out there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. You know, share these videos with others. Give us a like, subscribe, share. Finally, at the end of this video, you know, because of some of the subject matter here, you know, we never want to forget the survivors and the family, their losses, the first responders. We don't want to forget what had happened. We never forget. I would like for you guys to stick through the rest of the video and give a moment of silence for what America experienced on 9/11, for the survivors, those that lost their lives, you know, everyone involved in that. I would encourage everyone to give a moment of silence for those, the victims. Until next time, thanks for joining us on White or Black. We will see you in the next video.